What's up, folks? Merry Christmas. Let's title this like a Christmas message. And I'm going to ramble as usual, but wow, in my crazy life, I've really, my relationship and thoughts, perspective on Christmas has changed uh, night and day, back and forth, from being raised Catholic and being very devout, loving God and Jesus and being religious. Christmas meant, always loved Christmas, but meant one thing to me as a young child and as a young man, and then, going off to college and starting to maybe think for myself a bit more and question things that I'd long held beliefs. And I'll say this, I always felt loved by the universe. I always loved other people and felt like there's a reason for us to be here. Life is not meaningless. But I did kind of give up on a belief in God, that there was an intelligent, being watching over and guiding everything. And it was, there's lots of questions I would ask, but the one that comes to mind off the top of my head is just realizing that the universe is, 13.6 billion years old. And human beings have been around for, I don't know, a couple 100,000. I could be off by a couple 100,000, but it is, human beings were not, the religious fundamentalists, I'm not trying to upset you, but I'm a scientific thinker, and I tend to believe what the evidence supports, that says that human beings have only been around for a few 100,000 years. And, there were millions of years where there were dinosaurs and other creatures roaming the earth. Humanity was not even here, or there was no life on planet Earth. And I would just kind of ponder, well, what was God doing with his time, to occupy his time over all that expanse where human beings were not even present on the earth? And I could throw like a dozen pointed questions that really, I think, undermine the whole concept of God, that this is all about us, human beings, and our drama here on earth. So I gave up on God, and I was very skeptical and cynical about Christmas. I saw the commercialism and the gift exchanges, and I thought, based on a BS story that this guy Jesus, born of a virgin and died. I can see that people would die to protect others. That happens all the time. But that he rose from the dead and then just lifted up through the heavens. I couldn't believe that, so I thought, the fundamental basic story of Christmas is BS, and I would get turned off by the whole occasion. And that was not too long ago, 5-6 years ago. I was just not a fan of Christmas at all. And then here in the last couple of years, coming back to, I'm sorry guys, I'm certain that there is a God, right? Just this intelligent, loving energy that's responsible for everything. And my coming back to God parallels C.S. Lewis's story. I mean, when he was a kid, he kind of similar. His mom died, and he totally gave up. He was an atheist, didn't believe in it. But then, without getting into details, he just said, God grabbed me by the collar, and I couldn't deny it any longer. And he said he was the most reluctant convert in, I don't know, the world or in Europe. That's kind of my story too, and that's why I'm writing my novel, trying to tell the story. I'm just not a storyteller yet, but this is something I have to do. And watching YouTube and keep coming across philosophical discussions on YouTube, people struggling, searching for meaning in life. It seems sorry if I seem frustrated. Life is not meaningless. It's the meaning you give to it. But I think even beyond that, the meaning of life is to grow so much that you lose all fear, that you lose all judgment, and you recognize this deep fundamental truth about your existence, that you are connected to everybody and everything, and we have a shared journey. When you love it so much that you're willing to die, And again, guys, this really parallels the story of stars. The stars that have to die and go supernova, right? To give life to everything else. We evolved from stars. Our journey as human beings parallels that journey. Struggle and progress. So God has a tough role, a tough job here for us. What does it mean to love us and his children? God gives us all the answers and it takes away all the struggle, then there's no growth. That's stagnation, and that is kind of pointless. We are supposed to struggle. We're supposed to grow. That's, I think, the deal that we signed up for, to live this existence as animals or human beings. And then getting back to my channel, right, the evolution of love, sharing my perspectives and concepts about actually what it means to love someone, and by my definition, which is not about possession. You cannot possess another human being, much as we might want to, because of our primitive hardwiring. That's, it's kind of a natural thing. But if we're not conscious that it's not our most evolved best self, then we can fall victim to that. And again, that idea that love is releasing, it's letting go, it's an open hand. And no, I've never been married. That shouldn't undermine the credibility of my concepts, because I've been in lots of relationships and love them all deeply. And I just have this, inquisitive mind to always evaluate, well, why is it that we can't do better, have less fear and less misunderstanding, and again, less fear of love in the world. So I spent years, I would always think about that topic and discuss it with people. And say it again, the philosophy and the outlook, the perspective that I lay out in my book works for me. What do I mean by it works? Okay, well, I have no fear of falling in love or flirting. I have no fear of heartbreak and no expectation. The women I've been with, I think they know, as I still try and reach out to them, that I still care deeply about them. They're still like family or friends to me. I understand that a lot of times it's hard for them to maintain that type of relationship. But for where I'm coming from, no one's going to rock my boat. I know what I am, right? And meaning that I'm not, 6'5" athletic, super charming, gifted person, but I like the person I am, and I accept who I am. So no one's going to make me feel better about myself, and by the same token, no one's going to rock my boat if she decide that I'm not the one, that she doesn't want to be with me anymore. I'm a mature adult human being. I've been through this, and I know how life works. It's not a shock to me that any one woman would not want to spend 20, 30 years, 5 years in that kind of intimate relationship with me, or anyone. So yeah, like I said, rambling. Talked about my views of Christmas. I am not religious. I oppose almost all faces of oppression. The establishment, that's the establishment, religion and greedy corporations that just want to make money and will gladly sell you a cancerous product, or pay slave wages, or on and on it goes. That's the struggle we face as human beings and as a society. I'll oppose religion, but I'm a theist. I'm certain of God. I would die for God. I love God, and that makes me love everyone. And you think I'm bogus, it's cool. Make fun of me. I don't care. My life has been about that evolution to just not care, because I was very self-conscious growing up. People thought about, how I'm walking. I was awkward and goofy and clumsy, but I wanted to work through that, and I'm past that. That's why the sideburns and sometimes the loud clothes, and that's why I'm outspoken with my point of view, because that's where life is. All of us. Disagree with me, I don't so much care, but I want you to speak your mind, and just be fearless. So that's the point about it. To find freedom. It only comes through struggle. You know, the stars have to fight gravity, and then boom, transcendence, greatness, freedom. That is the story of all of us. And what else can I say to wrap it up? I mean, I wish you guys a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Let me say this too. There's a desperate need in this country, I think the world, for more voices like mine. I don't judge conservatives, the Trump supporters, or Trump himself, or liberals, or we see things the way we see it based on the information that we're given, and a lot of our perspectives are created by the modern media. I mean, the algorithms that these social media sites send to you, you're going to get a certain picture of the world. It's not the same as someone else. So let's try and unite, all of us. Humanity has no more time for warfare. No more time. We've got to save the planet now. And again, when we unite and start taking care of each other, we will thrive. It is time. Do or die. I mean, that's my mission. And I'll have it in this life or the next. Yeah, okay, so I've rambled on long enough. Hopefully someday these videos will help someone. You're being guided. The universe, God is always giving you clues, but there's certain times where you call it intuition, and it's so profound, this intuition, that there's no denying it. Then you go. And we all find the answer someday. So, wish you well. This works. Share the video, the channel. I'm not concerned about selling the book. I just want to get a voice in the world, and I know that my perspectives and ideas will help people have better relationships, stronger relationships, less fear, more life, more love. Wish you well. Have a good day. Happy New Year. Bye.